Revelation 21. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride, adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them and be their God.
Welcome, my child, to the eternal kingdom of light. Come, all who seek peace and light, enter into my eternal kingdom.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, dealing with the mistress of witchcraft, all right, the mother of harlots, all right, dealing with America. And this lesson was inspired by a TikTok video, that I had seen earlier, and I wanted to put it on wax, because it just tie in, to the scriptures, and with so much coming out, in the West, especially America, is being looked at, with shameful spewing, as the scriptures, said, what happened, okay? Because America, which was one time looked at, as the model civilization for the rest of the world. You go back to the 50s, that Lever the Beaver, okay, that Leave It to Beaver, type family, that family structure, okay, the middle class working man, the stay at home wife, okay, the son and the daughter, okay, the subdivision, okay, the good wholesome, white Edomite middle class family, and that was presented, as the standard of the world, not knowing there was a lot of enchantments, okay, at the foundation of America, in the background, okay, that America was always full of enchantments and witchcraft. You see, but they pushed this image, to the world, it's this wholesome, people loving, family loving, like I say, that Leave It to Beaver style, type civilization, and people thought that was all of America, okay? Because another thing that the devil was able to do, with his media, it just like on and that's the spirit, like you really see the spirit of America in everyday society, like that witch, that warlock type spirit, that manipulator spirit in everyday America, man. Which we'll get into it. But first, let's get this. We'll get into it. I don't want to rant. Let's um let's get into the scriptures. Now, when you go to Nahum chapter 3, okay, this is the book of Nahum chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Okay, so who's the well-favored harlot? This is America. Okay, now Nahum was addressing Assyria, Nineveh. All right, and that's why America, you know, goes by all these code names of these ancient empires that was heavily into witchcraft. Okay, you have Assyria, you have America known as spiritual Egypt, Sodom, okay, Babylon the Great, you see, and all these different nations, these empires, which, Babylon, Egypt, and Sodom were Hamites, who was heavy into Satanism and lewdness and perversion, okay, sexual rituals, okay, which all this is coming out, because as these devils, are doing particular things for psyops and distraction's sake, well, they have to sacrifice this shameful spewing that's coming out, man. Okay, so the Lord got these devils to where, the things that they used to do to stay ahead of the game is now making them look like an embarrassment, man. Now it's an embarrassment and it's a shame unto them. Okay, and this is how Esau ain't got too many moves left, man, because the moves he's making, and right, all of them seem out of desperation, man. And it's working against him. Okay, so it says because of the multitudes of the it says because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. Okay, now let's get this in a few other translations. All right, and then we'll tap into that well-favored harlot. And I want to go into the word mistress as well. Okay, so let's go into the NLT. It said all this. All right, this is Nahum 3 and 4 in the NLT. It said all this because Nineveh, the beautiful and faithless city, mistress of deadly charms. Okay, of deadly charms. All right, and the elites use America to charm the world. You know, they dressed America up real nice. Okay, they made America look like this utopian civilization that had it all figured out. Like I say, the suburban living, the economy booming, manufacturing booming, agriculture booming, strong military. Okay, these great Edomite male leaders. This a great wholesome Christian family. Okay, this great wholesome Christian, God loving, people loving society. Okay, and that's the image that they push to the world. Okay, the darkness, was in the background, way in the back. Now, as time has gone, the darkness has made its way to the front. Okay, and now it's being seen like, wait, you know, is this what this bitch was about the whole time? Okay, it says entice the nations with her beauty. Okay, she taught them all her magic, enchanting people everywhere. Okay, so you look at these nations now, which they're all right in cahoots with the devil with this new world order. And this is magic, this technology. Okay, this is left hand witchcraft, man. Okay, that this devil is trying to establish as a new world order. Okay, his money system, capitalism, all this witchcraft, man. Because they can just create wealth out of nothing, man. This is money magic. Okay, so they spread, their economy, the American economy, democracy is witchcraft. It's an illusion that people, that the masses have say so in the government. That's witchcraft, and they spread that throughout the earth. The economy, witchcraft, man. Okay, the religion, Christianity, the biggest religion, that's witchcraft. Okay, Islam, that's witchcraft. Anything outside of Yahweh Bashim al Shai is witchcraft, man. It's rooted in idolatry, man. And then higher up you get into every doctrine outside of the truth of Yahweh Bashim al Shai is rooted in Satanism, man. Okay, when you really get down to it. Okay, so this devil has spread magic, these enchantments everywhere, man. To the whole earth is under this enchantment that they think they can pull off this new world order, man. The leaders of these other nations, they think that they can pull off this new world order with Esau. This is an enchantment for even thinking that they can pull this off. Okay? So going back down, let's go to the A&P. It said all because of the many acts. This is yeah, Nahum 3 and 4 in the A&P. It said all because of the many acts of prostitution of Nineveh, the prostitute, the charming and well-favored one, the mistress of sorceries, who betrays nations by her acts of prostitution, idolatry, and families by her sorceries, man. So the elites have used America, as a well-favored prostitute, man. And the nation have gotten in bed and been enchanted and influenced by this prostitute, man. Okay, they've taken down the wine of rebellion. Okay, this great rebellion that we're seeing in the planet Earth, man. Okay, America has been, all right, the influence, okay, the facilitator of all this wickedness that we see. And what this prostitute, this well-favored, okay, harlot. Okay, so let's get into this well-favored harlot. Then we're gonna come back, okay, and visit the Nahum. All right, so you go to Revelation chapter 17 and verse 3. Um, well, I started at 4. Just deal with the harlot, get to the point. It says, "And the woman, all right, which is this harlot, America, was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." Okay, because the elites, they decked America out. Okay, America had, like I said, they had all this manufacturing. They had these thriving cities. They had these suburbs. They had, America decked out. Let's say economy was booming. Okay, the entertainment industry. You have, the sports, the Hollywood. Okay, so they decked America out, man. All these resorts and America was decked out. And it looked like the model nation, which all these nations began to conform to America, man. All these nations wanted to modernize like America. You see, these leaders of these other nations, okay, they seen, how America was doing it, okay, and they was enchanted. They admired the horse. They weren't wandering after the beast, okay, and in order, okay, to partake in the benefits of America, because America controls the global market. That's why they're able to sanction everyone. So for these nations to, all right, put their resources on the global market, because America, okay, controls the trade, they control the banking, okay, which these nations have to sell. They have to do transaction through American banking systems. That's why America has so, many nations' money frozen in these accounts, okay, based off sanctions. Okay, so in order to benefit, all right, and prosper with the whore, you got to conform to the whore. You got to bring democracy. You got to have pro-American governments. That's why America's so big on regime change with nations that don't want to do business with the whore. You don't want to get in bed with the whore. Regime change. Okay, we'll put someone in place that will do business with the whore, man. Okay, so you go here to abominations. Fornication. Let's get this word fornication. All right, and we'll go back and forth between this Revelation and Nahum. That's why it's title like it's title. Okay, the mistress of witchcraft. Okay, the mother of harlots, man. You see, so we'll go back and forth. So you go here. It says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, and having a golden cup in her hand, and a golden cup." All right, because a golden cup is something that's appealing. You see a golden cup, okay, and that's the outside on the surface, okay, but the thing that has the is what's in the cup. That's the thing. So America looked as shiny on the surface, man. Okay, it looked like this model, okay, society. It looked golden. You see. So let's go into the word fornication. Okay, would you go into the Greek? Let me see. I think it's porneia.
Strong's G 4202. Parnaya.
Porneia.
Parnaya.
All right. So you jump down, and what does it say? It says, metaphorically, the worship of idols. All right, or the defilement of idolatry. All right, is incurred by eating the sacrifices offered to idols, man. Okay, and these nations, okay, are participating, all right, in the most vile, all right, idolatry by following the whore, man, which is rebellion against the Most High. Okay, they're following after Satan. These nations with all these nations that's down with this new world order, they're following after Satan. They're partaking, okay, in this sacrifice because this new world order is a sacrifice unto Satan, man. Okay, and that's why a lot of these wars and this is human sacrifice, man. Why? That's why they bomb so many, women and children and civilians. Okay, and these never in the wars, man. They be sacrificing to Satan, man. Okay, for their new world order. Okay, and they plan to do a lot more. Okay, so going back. So let's go here to Nahum, and then we'll come back to Revelation. Like I said, we'll jump back and forth. So when you go to the book of Nahum, chapter 3. All right, this is the book of Nahum 3 and 4 again. It said, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. All right, and it's the same harlot, this woman, okay, that was on this scarlet beast. Okay, America, man, the mistress of witchcraft that sell a nation through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Now let's get this word. All right, mistress. Okay, now when you go into this word, all right, the mistress, the mistress of witchcraft. All right, which is ba. All right, what is it? Ba'Allah. All right, Ba'Allah. All right, now this is a feminine way of saying master. All right, female owner. Okay, so America is the master of witchcraft, man, in a feminine sense. Okay, America is the master of all witchcraft in the earth. Okay, a necromancer, sorceress. You see, so the elites, have, used America, as a master of sorcery, okay, to enchant the earth, man. And look at this. Now, when you go into the masculine word, what is it? When you go into the masculine word, okay, in the Hebrew, what is it? Baal. All right, Baal. Okay, owner, husband, Lord, Baal. Okay, and hasn't that been coming out a lot? All right, Baal. Okay, and this is what these devils are about. You go into those ancient Canaanites and what they was on, the worship of Baal, Molech, Ashtaroth. Okay, when you go into that, Molech was the child sacrifice. Baal was just the super freak, nasty, lewdness, perversion, that Sodom and Gomorrah spirit. Okay, Ashtaroth, that queen of heaven spirit. You see, and this is what America embodies, man. Okay, America takes witchcraft to a whole nother level. You see, and they made it so subtle in everyday society, man, to where everyone, is like a little warlock, man. Because manipulation, which this society is full of everyone trying to manipulate everybody. Everybody trying to scheme and manipulate everybody in this society, man. That's witchcraft. You see, manipulation is witchcraft. America does it just on on the more magnified scale, but people do it every day in your day to day. Everyone's trying to enchant. Okay, so the America is full of enchanted people trying to enchant. You see, everybody's trying to put you under their spell in some way or some fashion. You know, the majority of the people in the world, they're trying to put you under some type of spell, you know, through manipulation. Okay? This is a place of heavy witchcraft, man. You see? So let's read on and then we'll go back to Revelation. I got that quick video I want to get on TikTok. Okay. This is Nahum 3 and 5 said, Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And see, this is what we at now. Okay, see the things that's coming to the forefront. This is what America been on. Okay, they've been putting witchcraft in the music. All right, it didn't just get to when they start doing drill rap and the sexy red. They've been putting witchcraft. Okay, when you go back to the Temptations and you know the Beatles and you know they've been putting witchcraft in the game. All right, these movies and media, they've been doing this, man. Okay. So as now these things are being shown that this is what this place is all about because it's becoming more blatant and it's just saturated now. You see, they sprinkle these things into society. Now society is saturated with witchcraft. So this just a big, you know, like I say, this is just a big enchantment. America just a big enchantment, man. People don't know what reality is, man, because everyone's so enchanted. You see? And the nations are looking at America like, God damn, y'all got all this going on. Because all the nations, you know, they got their folly and their wickedness. But see, America's on a whole nother level what they own, man. You see, America's the vilest of the vile. You see? And it says, verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock, man. So America's a gazing stock, man. You know, they call American leaders the Epstein crew, man. You look at alternative news and these people from different nations, they call America the West. They said that's the Epstein crew, man. You know, they're being made mockery. They're looked at as vile. You see, and that's why these nations, it's a spirit on your nation, man. We finna go to war with these niggas, man. You know, them niggas they're on some other like we all, you know, these nations got folly. You know, but they look at America and it's like, God damn. You see, we finna go to war with these niggas, man. You know, and that's the spirit that the Lord got in the earth, man. You know, let's get a couple of these in the in some more translations. Okay. Yeah, NLT says, I will cover you with filth and show the world how vile you really are. You know, I will cover you with filth and show the world how vile you really are. Okay, and this is what we're seeing, man. America just it's a filthy society, man. From top to bottom is filthy, man. Okay, so I will throw filth on you and make you vile and treat you with contempt and set you up as a spectacle, man. Okay, and America is being made to be a spectacle, man. Okay, well, folly and filth, man. Let's go here. You know, hey, Tawadi Habashima Shah for waking us out of darkness, man. You know, the water, Yahweh Bashima Shah for waking us out of darkness, man. You know, and bringing us into this marvelous light, man. You see, this is a vile, dark place, man. You know, this is a very demonic, sick, twisted society, man. Okay, so let's go here to this is the book of Revelation. I'm gonna read down some more. All right, Revelation 17 and 5, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay, and this is America, man. This was written on the whore of the harlot, man. Mystery Babylon the Great. All right, the place of great confusion. Babylon going to confusion. This is a place of great confusion, and that's all right. One of the tactics of witchcraft is to keep people extremely confused, man. Okay, it said the mother of harlots. Okay, and the abominations of the earth. Okay, so America is responsible for the abominations of the earth, the filth of the earth, man. Okay, America set a whole new standard of wickedness in the earth. You see, America set a precedent, okay, for a new level of wickedness in the earth, man. And when you go into the mother, all right, which is in the Greek, mitar, all right, mitar, you go into the Greek word, all right, metar, all right, and it goes into a mother metaphorically, the source of something, the motherland. Okay, the source of something, the motherland. So America is the source of wickedness and witchcraft, man. This is what the elites, okay, was able to, you know, because because you go into, all right, the Illuminati, 1776, May 1st, in America, the birthday of America, 1776, July 4th, man, a few months later. Okay, so America, all right, was founded. This is why scripts say, since thy youth. You know, America was founded on witchcraft, man. You see, it was in the back, you know, but it has worked its way to the front, man, to where, you know, it's just demonic and dark now, man. Okay, but this place, you know, is embedded in witchcraft. It's saturated in witchcraft. The architecture, everything, the symbolism, everything, man. You know, the pagan holidays. You see, all these holidays ain't celebrated everywhere, man. You see, America's on a whole nother kick. Okay, now let's go here. I want to get this off of TikTok. Okay, and she know it's older Eve. You know she's on point. You know, of course, you know it's always some bones in the mix. Okay, but she's on point. You know, for some of the things she was saying. So let's let this play.
A lot of witchcraft in Africa. I was like, there's more witchcraft in America than anywhere in the world.
Listen.
So tell me, is there a lot of witchcraft in Africa? I was like, there's more witchcraft in America than anywhere in the world.
Really?
I'm serious. It's just packaged differently. It's packaged in a way that people have accepted it. People accept white witches. There's no such thing as a good witch. None. All witchcraft is bad. Anybody that is connecting with the devil, whether it's New Age, whether it's witchcraft, whether it's Church of Satan, Scientology, it's all the devil. Here in America, they think witchcraft is cute. It's not. If you open the door and allow the devil into your life, it will bring the attributes of the devil. The attributes of the devil is to steal, to kill, to destroy homes, families, children, business, just everything. And you can
look at the result. Look at America. Okay, look at America, man. And like she said, America has made witchcraft and rebellion against the Most High cute. You see, to where it's a culture. See, you don't look at, you know, like adultery, okay, or the woman, you know, out of order. They don't look at that as that's witchcraft. Okay, we're gonna get that. Okay, witchcraft. So they made rebellion cute. Okay, adultery, alphabet. Okay, murder. All these things that they made a culture. These things are glorified. Okay, the things that's the culture that's in complete rebellion to the Most High. These are the things that's glorified. These are the people that's on the TV screen with the money, with this, the clout, the following. They icons. Okay, this man Esau made rebellion real cute in America. He made sin and witchcraft real cute. Okay, to where it's just everyday culture now. You see
how much our society has gone to a place where it's just so dark and demonic. There are just two forces in the world, God and the devil. Human beings are in the greater balance of power in the universe. There's the power of God and there's the power of the devil. Human beings don't have power. We have authority. Let that sink in. We don't have power like God. We have authority. And if we give our authority,
Now she's on, she's gonna go off a little bit. Okay, we'll straighten it out. We'll straighten it out.
authority to God, God intervenes in the world. If we give our authority to devil, the devil intervenes and messes up our world. So the reason why our world is so crazy is because human beings have failed to give their authority to God.
It's because Esau in power. Okay, whose company is out there working to Satan. Okay, the problem comes with Esau, and that's one thing that Esau has done. He made it seem as if humans are the problem. No, you the problem, and you made the humans on earth, the people on earth, to be a problem. But it comes from your leadership. Okay, the problem of society falls at the feet of Esau, the rulers. Okay, if you look at the planet Earth and all the problems in it, well, they fall at the feet of Esau, Edom, and his wicked, demonic, satanic rulership. You see, the earth has an Edomite problem. Okay, and Esau is the spiritual, he's the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, man. Okay.
Interesting.
People think that I don't have to believe in the devil and I don't have to believe in God either. Great deception for you to believe that as a human being you can survive on your own. There is no such thing. Human beings don't have ability. That is why, Lara, you find out that people that don't have any God will worship a rock. They'll worship a tree. They'll find something to worship. Because there's something in every human being that's supposed to worship God. And if you don't worship, that is why there are all kinds of religions, all kinds of things people worship. There is something in you that will never find peace till you find more meaning. You find a spiritual meaning. So, one of the things is that most people's idea of God is according to the precepts of men. If you don't read the Bible and you're grounded in the Bible, you will be deceived. You will be worshiping some God that is not the God of the Bible, and you might
Christianity. Okay, because Christians didn't start reading the Bible to 2-3 years ago. Okay, this Jesus character and this generic God given to them by Esau had nothing to do with the Bible. That's why the doctrine of Christianity had nothing to do with the Bible. Okay, Christianity is a religion that has nothing to do with the Bible. Okay, and they was made to worship anything. That's why they worship all these pagan holidays, and we was in it. People act like we don't know Christianity. We in the South, especially we in the South, man. Okay, in the church every goddamn day. Practice rehearsal, choir rehearsal. Okay, rocking back and forth 2-3 goddamn hours. Okay, you see, we were there. Vacation Bible school, we were there. Didn't learn nothing. Everybody had the same testimony. They come in the truth. They learn more in a month within the truth than they learned 20-30 years in Christianity. Okay, and it's intentionally done like that. Christianity is a form of witchcraft, is mind control. Okay, that's why Christians don't care about the Bible. They care about they're protecting an enchantment. You see, and that's why they get emotionally upset about the truth, because they've been enchanted to protect the lie. Okay, to protect Satanism. You see, that's why the only person they care about is who? The so-called white man, Satan. They don't care about Satan. You see, all this forgiveness and love, okay, that Jake got is only towards Esau. Because niggas don't forgive each other. Niggas don't have family unions no more. Okay? So niggas can't even have a family union, but when it comes to love and forgiveness, it only goes towards Esau. Okay? So let's play this a little more.
as well be worshiping an idol. It's not every bad thing that is happening to you is the devil. It's sometimes people are actually.
Well, let's go. That's the point on that. All right. Well, like she said, people come to her, and they say like, well, there's a lot of witchcraft in Africa, which, and Jake got into that messing with who Ham when we was in, when the Southern Kingdom, most of the Southern Kingdom, okay, was fled Jerusalem 70 A.D. A lot of them settled in Africa, okay, mainly the northern interior and the western coast of Africa, okay. And Jake got mingled with them goddamn Hamites like they was doing when they was in Jerusalem. Jake got into that Baal worship in Jerusalem. They got back in the mingle with Ham in Africa, and they got into the witchcraft. Okay, but she made a point. She said it's way more witchcraft in America. Okay, because Esau Edom. Okay, so he's the master of witchcraft. You see, he done far went past Ham. Okay, because he was the first one into it in the garden, going back to the serpent. That's brothers been making that connect. Okay, but let's go back to some precepts, because when you go to, let's get this first, and you see, because like she said, America made witchcraft cute. You see, because what did they make cute? Rebellion. You see, the devil over here in America, he made rebellion. He made it something cute as a culture, like he was transcended by rebellion. Okay, this is 1 Samuel 15, and let's see. This is 1 Samuel 15 to 23. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft," and he was cursing out Saul. Saul was told to put Amalek to death, man. All of them, men, women, children, beasts. All right, but they saved some of the animals, and then the nigga left Agag alive, the king of Amalek, man. Okay, which that's how we know that Haman, the Macedonian, all right, was a Amalekite, because he was mentioned, to be a descendant of Agag. Okay, it said, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king." And he was speaking to Saul. Okay, and he made the point that what rebellion, because Saul was known for being rebellion. So Samuel said, look, rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, man. And stubbornness, okay, is as the iniquity of idolatry, man. And that's common culture in America. Okay, America, a culture of stubbornness, a culture of rebellion, which is witchcraft. Okay, and also manipulation. When you go into manipulation, that's witchcraft, man. And that's the norm in America. Okay, a culture of everyone manipulating everyone, man. You see, let's go here to Isaiah. All right, let's get Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 1, because this is how it's going to end. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read verse 3, then jump to 1. Isaiah 19 and 3 says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsels thereof, and they shall seek to idols and to charmers." And this Egypt is speaking about America. Okay, and to charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, man. Okay, because this is the culture of America. A lot of people are into witchcraft, man. A lot of people are into, spiritual guys, and you see, this is the culture now. You can see a lot of these celebrities that people follow, and they're leading them into heavy witchcraft, heavy darkness, man. All right, these little dance challenges, a lot of this be going back to witchcraft, man. That whole 6-7, that little thing that they had going on, and you go into it, it's some heavy witchcraft, man. Okay, and this is the culture. People getting their body, mutilated. That's witchcraft, man. Even some things as subtle as makeup and you putting a face on, that's witchcraft. You see, when you really get into it. You see, because whole thing of witchcraft is to deceive you, to get you to believe a lie. Okay, to influence you, okay, in wickedness, man. You see? And a lot of people of American culture, they're cool with wickedness, man. They're persuaded. But then you jump to Isaiah 19:1 and said, the burden of Egypt. Okay, behold, the Lord ride upon a swift cloud, and this is Yahweh Shai. He's going to be on their chariot, and he's going to come in the name and the authority and the power of his Father, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay? So the Lord is coming to lay this shit down, man. This is why America is going to be a lake of fire, man. That's why it says all the elements. Okay, everything in America gonna be turned to powder, man, because it's saturated in witchcraft, man. And that's in the law. You're supposed to destroy idols, man. And America is nothing but one big pagan idol altar to Satan, man. Okay, and that's why it's gonna be engulfed in fire, man, because it's the motherland, it's the source of wickedness in the earth. Okay, so that's the point. Just wanted to get into that, Lord will. All right, you brothers and you sisters edified. Once again, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his young brothers. And peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful. Shalom.